Now that we've gotten all the drama out of the way, and everything's all set in stone, the bet and everything with NFL Panthers '07 and Tyson or whatever, I'm just going to come out with a preview. This is less bullshit, more real talk, I guess you could say. See, sorry if my computer's being a little loud, but hopefully you can hear me. But I want to talk about this game, in a little more real perspective. Alright? I'm going to list the cons for the Panthers right now. They're on fire. They're hungry. And they're dying to be relevant. And the 49ers just wasn't enough. That's the main key. I thought I'd start off with that. Second, Panthers have a powerhouse defense. I mean, it's definitely, I'd say, not to sound cocky or toot my own horn, but or biased or anything, but I would say is the best in the NFL. I have full confidence in that. If anyone thinks me otherwise, prove me wrong. Kansas City has a terrible run stop. San Francisco has they're struggling. They're kind of like fifth, like everywhere, and they're not bad, but we're still better. We proved that. Seattle, I mean, they got a good secondary, but then again, that defensive line's a little weak. And I'm sorry, Seattle, but I mean, I'm just saying what the truth is. I mean, overall defense, I say we have it. I haven't looked at Seattle's overall run defense and pass defense, but I know it's not as good as ours. As far as total defense, I think we have that one in lock and key. I think we have the best overall defense in the NFL. Next is Cam Newton has already said he's going to have one of his best games against the New England Patriots, and I have full belief in that. Cam's wanting to prove himself too. He's kind of had like one of those years where he's just been like a game manager, where he's just threw what the defensive gave him, and he hasn't been forcing things other than the Arizona game and a little bit in the San Francisco game. Well, no, not in the San Francisco game. No, I meant the Atlanta game, kind of. But he's not been trying to force it, and he's just been giving what the defense has given him. I'm sorry about that to my Facebook. Sorry if you're already checking. If that's for you, it's not. But that's three things. I think Cam will have one of his best games because Cam is really hungry for it. So that's three things. Fourth is our running attack. Patriots rank like 30th in run block and stopping the run. And that's going to be a huge challenge for them. And there's a chance of rain. It was calling for a lot heavier rain. But now it's calling for AM showers, and it may drizzle in that game. So running game might not be as important, as you would think. But our run game is going to be very important in this game. Because New England's defensive line, their interior, it's beat up. It's not that good, and it's allowed a plethora of run yards this year. So if we can get their run game going, I mean, it's all set. And I could go on to number 5, but I didn't talk about our defense. I was going to say our secondary. It's been playing good, but it's going to have to play better, and I think they can step up to the challenge. But that's 4 main reasons, and 5th if you count our secondary. And then I'm going to get to the Patriots. I mean, they got Tom Brady. You can't forget that. They got Tom Brady. And you can't just say Danny Amendola isn't that good, or Kimbrel Thompson isn't that good. Who's the other one? I know Rob Gronkowski. You can't say neither 3 of them were terrible. You can't say that. Gronkowski is the best receiver on their team. But Kuechly, I mean, you put him on a tight end, he's going to be guarded all day regardless. I mean, he made Tony Gonzalez look like a rookie the first quarter whenever they played him, whenever Kuechly was actually on him. And, I mean, so I'm not really worried about that matchup, but they do have those 3 receivers, and Tom's going to make them look good regardless. And, so, I mean, that's just the main thing. You got Tom Brady. They may have Green back, and I'll add this with it too, Talib. They might get Talib back, and he's played great. I watched him play against New Orleans, and he played awesome. But I hadn't seen him do anything other than that game. but I've heard a lot about him. So they're getting him back probably. All these guys are probable, by the way. Danny Amendola, he's probable. Talib is questionable, and so is Vreem. I think Vreem's the least question. I mean, he's the least probable. He probably won't. He has the least chance of playing. But that's another thing. They're getting the players back at the right time. They're coming off a bye. I mean, teams, in all honesty, teams have not played good coming off of buys this year. I mean, they just haven't. But that's got to be a pro. You can never list it as a con, no matter, regardless how the NFL's played this year off buys. And there's actually more cons for the Patriots here because the Patriots play good on Monday night. That's 5. Patriots play good on Monday night. The Patriots off Monday night and buys are one of the best team in the NFL off of that. I mean, they play good on Monday night and they play good off of buys. That's 2 things they're good at. But the reason you might have more cons and more reasons, more cons, but that doesn't make them the better team in this game. See, the thing is, the Panthers' defense and their hungriness right there, just them 2 things, is enough to win this ball game. They're hungry. And this is what a lot of people are missing. You don't mess with a hungry team. A team with this much fire in them, you don't mess with. After the past 2 years where the Panthers lost these close games, they have lost more heartbreaking games in the past 2 years than any team in the NFL. Regardless, I don't care. I forget what the stat was. It was like 22 of 23 of Ron Rivera's losses or something like that came in the 4th quarter. That's just ridiculous. Might have been like 21 for 24, 22 for 24. I can't remember, but that's ridiculous. That's crazy. And now that this team finally has the taste of winning, mixed with hunger and youth, that's where you draw the line. That's where all this confidence in the Panthers is coming from, because they know how hungry this team is. And another thing is, we're playing a team that beat us in the Super Bowl. Now, regardless, there's only 2 players, 2 people on the whole coaching staff, team, whatever, that was with us in that Super Bowl, and that is Jordan Gross and Steve Smith. Now, Jordan done said the Super Bowl has nothing to do with how he's taking this game, but he's an offensive lineman. He don't have to. I just want him to do his job. Now, Steve, on the other hand, I don't think he feels that way. I think he does feel a little bit of revenge. And when you mix spitefulness, hungriness, youth, fire, I mean, that's just a deadly combination. Not to mention, the Panthers are due this win. I mean, they deserve it. They really do. Being karma and fate like NFL Panthers 07 has, and that it's the truth. They deserve this game. Now, in all honesty, to try to keep it as unbiased as possible, if I was a bystander, say I was a Cleveland Brown fan or something, say I was an innocent bystander and I was looking at this game, I'd probably think the Panthers are a little overrated, and I would probably think that we wouldn't be able to handle New England because our secondary, most people would still look at our secondary like it's not that good. And to a point, that there's a little bit of truth to that. People want to start saying that our secondary is one of the best in the league. Don't go that far. The way they played against San Francisco was terrible. They only allowed like 40-something total net yards, but they was leaving receivers wide open, and if it wasn't for our interior line getting pressure, that it would have been a long day for us. Because, I mean, it was ridiculous. I've watched the film on it and everything, and Tom Brady's going to get that ball out faster because he's going to know who he's going to. And if we play that same way, I know it was our game plan against San Francisco to do what we did, but if we play that way against New England with Tom Brady, we will not win that game. I will go ahead and say that. Now, hopefully the adjustments and the game plan is different and everything comes out clean, but that's a big problem on our team. But overall, this hungry, youthful defense And overall, just the whole Panther team. I mean, a lot of people just want to look at our defense. You got to look at our offense too. If it ever gets to clicking, no team in the NFL will beat us. You cannot argue with the players we have, especially in the running game. And even our offensive line is solid, even though it's beat up and injured. I mean, we still have a bunch of Pro Bowlers in there. But listen to this running back core. D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert, and then you got Cam Newton running the ball, and then sometimes you can even throw Kenyon Barner in there for a scamper back and or a screen. He's kind of like Andre Ellington, in my opinion. I'm still mad we skipped Ellington and got Barner instead of Ellington now, but that's beside the point. And, you know, it's just like we have such a monster running attack. And those players right there are enough to worry about. That you can't worry about the receivers all times. You know, you got to bring a run blitz every once in a while and a full-out blitz, and you got to contain on the inside. And that's leaving Ted Ginn, Brandon LaFell, and Steve Smith. You know, Brandon LaFell, maybe you have a little, maybe people would have a little argument saying he's not that great. He's not a second receiver, but if you actually break it down, he's actually the perfect number 2 receiver. He's actually does what most number 2, at the average number 2, mediocre number 2 wide receiver will do. I mean, he's not great. He's not like a duo like Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz, which, well, they ain't doing nothing this year, but, or Roddy White and Julio Jones, which they ain't doing nothing this year, but, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get to. And this video is already getting so long, so I'm going to try to wrap it up. But you can't argue with our offense, and our defense, you already know, is powerful. You know, but overall, the reason I think the Panthers win this game is because they're hungry and they deserve it. Those 2 reasons right there is just, you can't argue with them. I mean, there's a lot of things that point to New England having a lot of upside in this game, but, oh, I forgot, we are at home. That's a big deal too. That is a huge deal. I don't know how I forgot that. We're at home. And it's Monday night. So, I mean, that's another pro for us. But that's why I think the Panthers will win. You know, I mean, I might not have broke it down exactly. This video got way too long too quick, and I didn't really have time to finish it. But, overall, I think the Panthers win because they're hungry. And that's why. I think they're going to come in this game fired up and sack Tom Brady 6 to 8 times. And I think that's enough to win. I think all we'll have to score is 27 points to beat them. And I say the final score will be 31 to 21. And that's in all respect to New England. That's as many points as I can give them against our defense. And to be honest, that your only chance is to stop our offense. And if they can stop kicking themselves in the foot, I mean, I don't see that happening. Because New England's defense isn't that great. Okay, I gotta finish this. I gotta stop rambling. Anyway, that's all I got. Panthers win, what I say, 31 to 21. And that's my final. Keep pounding, Panther fans, and tell me what you think in the comments below. And tell me how you feel this game will end out. Give a final prediction or whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next video.